As a diehard Bulls fan, one of the coolest things that we've witnessed over the past couple of years was seeing Lonzo Ball given the keys to the Chicago Bulls offense. And when he was given those keys, seeing him go off. What up, everybody? It's your boy STG Hoops with a brand new video. And yes, we are talking about Lonzo Ball, everybody. Before we get started, hit that like button. It takes 2 seconds of your time, helps your boy out a lot. We are officially at 250 subscribers, man. We are 1/4 away from that big 1K. So if you are coming across this video, hitting that sub button would mean the world. But anyways, man, Lonzo Ball, bro. You know, we got to give this guy a lot of credit, right? Because what Lonzo Ball was able to do from when he first, with all the hype that was around him, when he first entered the NBA, and then seeing him become the player who he ended up being, obviously at his peak in the Chicago Bulls, and he wasn't even at his prime. He was just at the highest he's ever been. That transition was just absolutely amazing. Lonzo Ball, obviously, UCLA, you know, his father, big baller brand, you know what I'm saying? Like, it was everywhere. That's all you saw because Lonzo is the oldest player, and he was the first to enter the NBA, and it came with just a plethora of hype, and now you on the Lakers, so the limelight was on him, right? And it was a lot, of pressure, it was a lot of expectations, and everything in between. Nonetheless, when Lonzo came to the league as a rookie, he still played decently well. He averaged 10 points a game his first 2 seasons for the Los Angeles Lakers. He played about 52 games season 1 as a rookie, and then about 47 games the following season. But one of the biggest things to highlight about Lonzo Ball when he first came into the league was how his shot was. If you watched, his college games, he obviously was a shooter, right? We saw those clips. We all grew up kind of watching those amazing clips that he would do and things like that, but we didn't know how well this would translate to the NBA because his shot was not a Stephen Curry shot. It wasn't a Ray Allen shot. It wasn't a beautiful form like Klay Thompson, and even Zach Lavine, who has a beautiful form, right? It was a very unorthodox type of shot. And because of that, his shooting numbers his first 2 seasons, of course, I'm sure LA has something to do with it too. We've seen shooters come to the Lakers and not really shoot well. But regardless, he ended up shooting about 30% from the three-point line his first year, and then about 32% his second year. And that's just not going to get the job done when that's one of the biggest things you do. But one thing that did shine with Lonzo Ball when he first came to, as a rookie, is he still averaged 7 assists a game. So his stat line was actually pretty solid his rookie year. 10 points a game, 7 assists, 7 rebounds, and almost 2 steals. So you could see that he had a lot of potential. And one thing that I really respect about Lonzo Ball is when you look at other players, and I'm not going to call out names, but hey, maybe Ben Simmons is one that we can talk about. When you talk about somebody who just has one element in their game that's missing, which of course was shooting, and of course you look at Lonzo Ball, who of course coming to the NBA was a better shooter, of course, but when you look at someone like that, or even Fultz, who really transformed his shot and went through the hurdles but came back, you can just respect that person even more for overcoming and putting the work and making no excuses, right? Look, man, Lonzo Ball, when he ended up getting traded to New Orleans, he obviously really started going off. Obviously from a scoring perspective, but even from a shooting perspective. And I'm looking at the stats here, but when he entered his second year with the Pelicans, he averaged almost 15 points a game. And this is only his 4th year in the NBA. Almost 15 points a game. His 3-point percentage was 38%, man. 38%, and he was taking now about 3 more threes a game than his rookie season, from 8 threes a game opposed to 5. I'm trying to say that's how many more attempts he would take. And you just gotta respect it, bro. You gotta respect that, what he did. And one of the biggest factors that allowed him to shoot better was he changed his shot. He changed his entire form. If you look at Lonzo Ball's form from when he first started, that little curved, crazy shot that would still go in and give any one of us buckets. But when you look at that shot compared to his most recent shot, ooh, it was smooth. And he just ended up becoming, an elite 3-point shooter. And we really saw that when he signed with the Chicago Bulls. Going back to how we first started this video, fam, Lonzo Ball signed with the Chicago Bulls for a multi-year deal. He was only 24 years old, and he just was given the key to the offense that included Zach Lavine, All-Star Demar Derozan, All-Star Vucevic, former All-Star as well, and then Patrick Williams and everybody else. And man, and of course Alex Caruso, we can't forget about that. And man, when we saw what this brother was able to do when the Chicago Bulls had him not injured, oh my goodness, bro. I remember some of the plays as a Bulls fan. There was one play in particular. Lonzo Ball gets the rebound, throws it all across the straight up court like he's Tom Brady. Zach Lavine gets it and slams it down ferociously. Wow, that was just something. When we saw that dunk as a Bulls fans, we were all just like, yo, this Chicago Bulls team is back. And if you remember this season, about 2 years ago, the Chicago Bulls were literally the #1 team in the Eastern Conference for months, bro. And it wasn't until Lonzo Ball unfortunately ended up being injured where we just started to go downhill, in which we ended up ultimately losing in the first round of the playoffs to the Milwaukee Bucks. And yeah, I ain't reading no script. This is all coming from my brain, dog. Anyways, Lonzo Ball only played 35 points a game, but to his credit, the biggest thing that just stands out, man, is his three-point percentage, bro, because he started off 30%, and in this Chicago Bulls season, my man, 42%, bro. 42%. Are you serious right now? He was literally becoming an elite three-point shooter, and he was only 24 years old, dog. He wasn't even in his prime yet, and he was playing his best basketball of his career, and they were gelling. They were building chemistry. Zach Lavine, Lonzo Ball, DeRozan. Are you serious? When you got Zach Lavine and Lonzo Ball, two elite shooters on the same team, yo, we ain't even talking about Lonzo Ball's passing skills, man. Yo, he had vision like something else, bro. I love Caruso. Amazing defensive player. But him as a starting point guard, it's going to bring its own versatility. It's going to bring its own different things, fam. But it ain't going to bring the vision that Lonzo Ball has. Now, don't get me wrong. Caruso has some pretty nasty passes. I've seen it. You've all seen it. But Lonzo Ball just had an eye, bro. He was that pass-first point guard that got his team set up, and he could make that shot when he needed to. And he had that ups, too, bro. He had ups. And Lonzo Ball officially has been injured for the past couple of years, and it's very hard, right? Especially as a Bulls fan to see it. But Lonzo Ball, my friends, ain't giving up. He ain't giving up. Lonzo Ball is going to come back. That's what he's saying. In a recent podcast interview, Lonzo Ball is literally saying he wants to come back. That's the plan. The Bulls got the exception this season right now, right? $10 million or so, for not having him play this season. But he's going to be doing rehab every single day. And this is a surgery that a lot of people don't come back from, right? This is something when you don't have Mero, I think Brandon Roy had this amongst other players, and no one really comes back from this. But you know what? To give some credit to technology, things have changed, bro. This isn't 10 years ago. I would think, things have gotten a lot better in regards to how treatment works, how rehab works, and how everything else works, fam. Because when you look at Achilles injuries in the past, you would be done. You ain't coming back. Or if you coming back, you ain't coming back as the same player. Kevin Durant, you can't even tell this brother got injured the way he's been playing, especially at this age in his mid-30s, right? So hopefully there's some optimism that there's a chance he can come back. Is he going to have that athleticism that he once had? I don't know. But look at my man, Derrick Rose. Injured ACL amongst everything, torn ACL amongst every other thing, he's still in the league. Why? Because he changed his game. And the one thing Lonzo Ball had going for him was his passing and his shooting. And if he can continue that, he doesn't need to slam the ball down, you know what I'm trying to say? Especially if the Bulls keep their core. You got Zach Lavine, maybe DeMar DeRozan for that. You got to pass that rock. You got to shoot that rock. And man, he was a defender too. I think I'm getting more depressed as I go in this video, fam. But I had to keep it real. I'm rooting for Lonzo Ball. The whole purpose of this video was to kind of give a little backstory. We all know a lot of this stuff, but just really put some heart and soul into it, man. He deserves his video. Lonzo Ball deserves a video because he is somebody who's impacted the game. He's somebody who had so much pressure on him growing up as a child. You know what I'm trying to say? Because he really had it when LeVar Ball was really publicized and he was just media happy. Lonzo Ball as the eldest, or in this case, the first to kind of go through the college and NBA cycle, all eyes were on him, right? And he's somebody who really was he never yelled at the media. He always had great decorum. He always had great respect. And he just let his game do the talking. And his game did do the talking, man. and his progression was just getting better and better, and it really looked like Chicago just got a steal, fam. But you know what? Number one, if you a Chicago Bulls fan, you're used to this. Unfortunately, but you're used to this. But number two, if you a basketball fan, you and I should all be rooting for Lonzo Ball's return. Because you know what? When he comes back, if he can just do even 80% of the stuff he used to, he'll still be a solid NBA player. But in the comments down below, everybody, let me know if you think Lonzo Ball is going to come back. What's your favorite memory about Lonzo Ball? Should the Chicago Bulls, if you're a Bulls fan, what do we do? Do we run Lonzo Ball for another year? Do we trade him? What do we do? Let me know in the comments down below if you enjoyed this video, everybody. And I hope to see y'all in the next video. But Lonzo Ball, if you end up watching this somehow, we're rooting for you. The city of Chicago is rooting for you. But realistically, bro, the whole world rooting for you, man. Because as a baller to another baller, we want to see ballers well. And injury is the last thing we want to see, especially when it comes, out of nowhere, which this did. So we're rooting for you.